Lights, camera, action. Welcome back to Flick Flash. Netflix's Ginny and Georgia has become one of the platform's most compelling dramas, offering a unique blend of teen angst, murder mystery, and dark humor. Season 2 picks up right after the explosive revelation that Ginny learned about Georgia's deadly secrets. While the mother-daughter dynamic remains central, the second season also expands the focus to friendships, relationships, and Georgia's haunted past. Here's a breakdown of everything that happened. Episode 1. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 1, titled, "Welcome Back, Bitches." The story resumes 2 weeks after Ginny and Austin flee to live with Zion, following Ginny's shocking discovery that Georgia killed her stepfather, Kenny. Ginny struggles with guilt, anxiety, and self-harm, hiding her pain while Zion tries to support her and urges therapy. Meanwhile, Georgia attempts to maintain normalcy in Wellsbury, preparing for Thanksgiving and trying to impress her fiancé Paul's judgmental parents. Despite her inner chaos, she puts on a confident front. Ginny, fearing Georgia might discover her self-harming, reluctantly agrees to return home. She reconnects with Marcus, rekindling their emotional bond. A haunting flashback shows young Georgia protecting Ginny, revealing her complex mix of love and danger. The episode sets the tone for a darker, more emotional season, focusing on mental health, generational trauma, and the fragile relationship between mother and daughter. Episode 2. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 2, titled, "Why Does Everything Have to Be So Terrible? All the Time, Forever?" Tensions rise as Ginny returns to school, facing isolation from her friends. She begins therapy, confronting her self-harming behavior and feelings of control loss. Georgia, aiming for normalcy, announces Paul's move-in without his consent, causing friction. Their strained relationship intensifies when Georgia removes food from the house, prompting Ginny to seek employment at Joe's Cafe. Discovering Georgia opened credit cards in her name, Ginny feels betrayed. Meanwhile, private investigator Gabriel probes Georgia's past, uncovering ties to a missing ex-husband. The episode culminates with Ginny asserting independence, serving Paul a smoothie reminiscent of the one Georgia used to poison Kenny, signaling a power shift. Episode 3. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 3, titled, "What Are You Playing At, Little Girl?" Tensions escalate between Ginny and Georgia. Ginny retaliates against her mother's deceit by using a credit card in Austin's name to buy him a Game Boy, mirroring Georgia's previous actions. Their confrontation intensifies, with Georgia warning Ginny that she's playing with fire. Ginny confides in Marcus about Georgia's lethal secret, revealing she killed her stepfather, Kenny. Meanwhile, Ginny and Abby bond over shared frustrations, distancing themselves from Maxine. Georgia manipulates her way into the neighborhood club by assisting Cynthia discreetly. The episode culminates with Ginny confronting Georgia, leading to a raw confession about her past actions and a fragile truce between mother and daughter. Episode 4. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 4, titled, "Happy My Birthday to You," Ginny attempts to mend her friendship with Max during her birthday celebration. Despite the festive atmosphere, Ginny continues to grapple with her mother's dark past and her own mental health struggles. Georgia, meanwhile, is preoccupied with organizing a successful casino night fundraiser, showcasing her resourcefulness but also her tendency to manipulate situations to her advantage. The episode highlights the ongoing tension between Ginny and Georgia as Ginny seeks independence and understanding, while Georgia remains entangled in her secrets and protective instincts. The narrative delves into themes of trust, identity, and the complexities of mother-daughter relationships. Episode 5. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 5, titled, "Latkes Are Lit," Georgia immerses herself in planning her wedding and a murder mystery-themed neighborhood club party. She reconciles with Nick, asking him to be her bridesman. At school, Ginny is tasked with selecting a book representing the Black American experience for the curriculum. She encourages Marcus to provide closure to Padma. Zion and Paul discuss co-parenting, leading Paul to discover a gun in George's home, causing concern. During an open mic night at Joe's Cafe, Padma performs, and Ginny reads a poignant poem about her mother, observed by Georgia. The episode concludes with Austin's father, Gil, unexpectedly visiting his school. Episode 6. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 6, titled A Very Merry Ginny and Georgia Christmas Special. Georgia hosts a tense Christmas Eve dinner, bringing together Paul's and Zion's families. Old grievances resurface, especially between Georgia and Zion's parents, who criticize her past decisions. Ginny and Georgia attempt to bond over holiday shopping, but encounter Zion's new girlfriend, Simone, adding to Georgia's discomfort. Meanwhile, Austin discovers a hidden gun while searching for presents. On Christmas morning, Gil visits Austin, claiming he's changed, which unsettles Georgia. Later, Georgia reads Ginny's therapy journal, uncovering her daughter's self-harm. This revelation leads to an emotional confrontation, with Georgia expressing deep remorse and vowing to support Ginny's healing journey. Episode 7. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 7, titled, Let Us Serenade the Sh** out of you. Georgia joins Ginny in therapy, leading to emotional revelations about their strained relationship. Ginny expresses a need for independence, while Georgia opens up about her sacrifices. At school, Ginny confronts racial bias, ultimately dropping her English class. Gil reappears in Austin's life, removing his tracker and alarming Georgia. Meanwhile, Marcus begins showing signs of depression. Ginny throws a surprise bachelorette party for Georgia, but tension simmers beneath the celebration. The episode explores trauma, mistrust, and the fragile bonds holding this family together. Episode 8. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 8, titled Hark. Darkness descends. Marcus's deepening depression leads him to break up with Ginny, citing his inability to support her while struggling himself. Ginny, unaware of the extent of his mental health issues, is left heartbroken. At school, Ginny's classmates rally behind her by discussing Sister Outsider, challenging their teacher's earlier dismissal of her book choice. Meanwhile, Georgia's past catches up when Austin, hiding in Cynthia's house, witnesses her smothering Cynthia's comatose husband, Tom, an act she perceives as a mercy killing. The episode concludes with Max and Marcus hearing a gunshot, leaving viewers in suspense. Episode 9. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 9, titled Kill Gil, tensions escalate as Georgia's past threatens her present. Gil, Austin's abusive father, blackmails Georgia, demanding access to Austin and financial support. When Georgia refuses, Gil becomes violent, leading Austin to shoot him in the arm to protect his mother. Georgia tends to Gil's wound and warns him to stay away. Meanwhile, Georgia confesses to Ginny about her past actions, including the murder of her first husband, Anthony Green. The episode concludes with private investigator Gabriel learning of Georgia's involvement in Tom Fuller's death and reporting it to the police, setting the stage for impending consequences. Episode 10. In Ginny and Georgia Season 2, Episode 10, titled, I'm No Cinderella. Georgia prepares for her wedding to Mayor Paul Randolph, but her past threatens to unravel her new life. She confesses to Paul about her previous marriages and the murders of her ex-husbands, seeking honesty before their union. Paul, despite the revelations, chooses to proceed with the wedding, demonstrating his commitment. Meanwhile, private investigator Gabriel Cordova uncovers Georgia's involvement in the death of Tom Fuller, Cynthia's comatose husband. During the wedding reception, as Georgia and Paul share their first dance, police arrive and arrest Georgia for Tom's murder, shocking the guests. The episode concludes with Austin revealing to Ginny that he witnessed Georgia smothering Tom, adding another layer of complexity to the family's turmoil. What Season 3 might explore? Season 3, premiering on June 5th, 2025, will pick up immediately after Georgia's arrest. Here are some potential directions. Will Georgia go to prison? Her charm and intelligence have helped her escape consequences before, but this time, things are serious. How will Ginny cope? Now that her mother is in jail, Ginny must become the emotional anchor of the family. Will Marcus and Ginny reunite? Their unresolved feelings leave the door open. Will Paul stay loyal? Now that he knows everything, and his wife was arrested in front of him, can he forgive Georgia? Will Cynthia speak up? Her silence could make or break the case. How will Austin deal with what he saw? A child carrying that kind of trauma is bound to explode. Thank you once again for being a part of Flick Flash. Until next time, keep watching, keep exploring, and keep that movie and TV magic alive. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and stay tuned for more exciting recaps. This is Flick Flash signing off.